While I never book a flight or a hotel expecting it to be bad, certainly sometimes my expectations are pretty low. Perhaps that's why I love this flight on Jetstar so much today. Let's get into it. Welcome to Brisbane. If you'd like to know the exact fare that I paid for my flight, or my next 5 videos in queue, please check out the description below. And if you're new here, hi there and welcome to the channel. My name is Kevin. I think that the world needs a bit more honest travel content these days, so I make airline trip reports, high-end hotel reviews, and cruise ship tours as well, all without invitation. I always film without the company's knowledge and I self-fund my own trips, to be sure to get a true experience. Then, I give you nothing more than my own personal, honest, unbiased opinion. Good very early morning from Brisbane. After 3 Ubers cancelled on me, I'm very happy to have found a friendly one that would actually take me here for Brisbane's first international flight of the day. Brisbane has 2 terminals, domestic and international. I'll let you guess which one we're at. I occasionally mention that sometimes certain flights or hotels make up the original framework of a bigger trip, and today's flight from Brisbane to Bali, along with my Philippine Airlines flights, were part of that original plan. Today's flight on Jetstar was, at the time, the cheapest non-economy option from anywhere in Australia to Denpasar. So, knowing airfares in Australia make the rest of the world look affordable, I booked it right away. So, just to be completely clear, the same way that I would and will judge ScootBiz or Air Premia 42 or French Bee Premium, I'll be judging today's cabin as a premium economy flight, regardless of what it's called. I don't think Jetstar is trying to fool anyone with what their product is, so I think it's a fair play. Other low-cost carriers like AirAsia X or Vietjet that offer full flat beds, that I think deserves to be judged as a true business class, albeit a cheap one. Check-in for economy had quite a line at 4:37 in the morning, but for business class, there was no one, and I was checked in a matter of seconds. Could have been something to do with only having 21 business class seats on their 787s. Let's head down to departures and we can talk a wee bit about Jetstar. Their beginnings were conjured up in 2001, when their parent company, Qantas, needed to figure out a way to deal with the growing competition from Virgin Blue. Within a couple of years, the airline was established with a primary hub in Melbourne, with A320s and 787s on the way, becoming part of Qantas's new 2-airline strategy. By the way, if you're new to the channel, I've got a new playlist linked above, which has around 15 or so videos which will give you a pretty good idea of what this channel is all about. In 2004, Qantas spread its wings a bit further and established Jetstar Asia, their Singapore-based and owned airline. Contrary to the 900 Australians who came at me on my previous Jetstar Asia video for saying that it was a Singaporean airline, well, it is. Qantas owns 49% of Jetstar Asia. In 2008, they also bought an 18% share in Vietnam's Pacific Airlines to create Jetstar Pacific, which Qantas has since sold their share in and is back to Pacific Airlines. They also own 33% of Jetstar Japan, which formed in 2011. That was established along with Japan Airlines and Mitsubishi. Last but not least, they were meant to have Jetstar Hong Kong, formed alongside China Eastern, but that deal eventually fell through. Currently, the Australian arm of the company flies from their 3 busiest cities of Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne to around 15 international destinations. They also have a substantial domestic network, but I'll cover that next year when I have an Australian Airlines series planned. I don't know exactly how many airports I've been to in the past few years, but it's a lot. And I applaud Brisbane for being the absolute first terminal that I've noticed at least to have USB-C charging ports available in the departures hall, and lots of them at that. Okay, now that Daylight has decided to join us for the party, let's head to our gate. Here's our first morning golden hour view of our 9-year-old 787-8, one of 11 in the fleet. Altogether, they have a total of 79 aircraft with a further 29 on order. all of which are A321LR or XLR aircraft. So we can certainly expect to see many new long and thin routes coming to Jetstar, just like Qantas will begin to do soon as well. If you support the content that I've been putting out on the channel, or frankly even if you don't support it but your fingers are feeling a little antsy, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Those are the two easiest ways that you can tell YouTube that this video was worth your time. For anyone interested in supporting, my Patreon is also linked in the description below. Thanks for watching today. And here we are at the exact same gate that I arrived at yesterday, the very last one. I have a question for Australians. When I'm in Australia and I see airlines like Nauru Airlines, they're in that super exotic category of carrier for me. But surely, for y'all, they're just everyday kind of sights. My question is, for those of you that have been to the US, which airlines did you see there that really made you do a double take? I'm guessing there are quite a few Caribbean or Latin American carriers which are equally exotic to you. Boarding began a bit late, but just by a few minutes. And frankly, if boarding was on time, would it still actually be a Jetstar flight? As for today's flight stats, we ended up taking off 15 minutes late and headed up to 40,000 feet for our 6-hour flight northwest to Bali, landing 16 minutes behind schedule. As we stepped on board, we were greeted by a very friendly crew member and had a peek of economy on our stroll to the forward business class cabin. I'm frankly surprised that Jetstar even offers in-flight entertainment screens in economy. I was more or less expecting them to have the same product on offer that you'd find on Scoot. The seats up here on offer are equally nothing to write home about, but also really comfortable. There are plenty of airlines that use this version or a close version of it in their premium economy cabins, and it makes for a great trip. Enough padding and recline for longer flights, and a fully adjustable headrest to help you get some sleep. The only thing I don't really like about the cabin is how small it feels. Normally, smaller premium cabins are meant to feel intimate, but this one just feels crowded, with 3 rows in a 232 configuration. Legroom here though is fantastic, a true 38 or 40 inches of pitch, and while bare bones, the seats do have everything that you would need. Upon boarding, there is a chill kit, which we'll take a look at later, as well as some not horrible headphones, a blanket, and a bottle of water. The crew also came around with non-alcoholic pre-departure drinks. There's also a leg rest, but it didn't really do too much. The crew began their manual safety demonstration, and we pushed back and began what is surely one of the longer taxis that I've ever been on. According to Google Maps, it is 4.5 miles, over 7 kilometers from our gate to the runway for takeoff. Eventually, we'd be lining up and taking off to the northwest. The spool up, takeoff, and airport stats are coming up next. One note about the crew as we continue our climb. Ours today was based in Indonesia. I'm not sure of the current status of it at the moment, but some years ago, Qantas was under fire for using almost exclusively foreign crews on international long and mid-haul flights on Jetstar. I repeat, I am not commenting on it either way, but I will say that they were surely one of the friendliest and most gracious crews that I've had, and are definitely what made this flight so great overall. They were attentive throughout the flight and proactive for even the small things like checking the bathroom in between passengers or offering snacks outside of mealtimes. Let's check out the comfort items for today's flight. Surprisingly, there were quite a lot of them. A small but nice pillow. I appreciate that it's not in that cheap economy scratchy covering. Then the blanket, which is brand new and you can take it home. I mean, I know they do it to save cost on laundering, and I'm sure they're recyclable, but it's just hard to not feel that this is just a bit of a waste. Inside the chill kit was a very surprisingly comprehensive assortment of stuff. Honestly, this is a better kit than I've received on quite a few full-service carriers in business class. I'm looking at you, Austrian. There's also a blow-up neck pillow, which came in handy, and the whole kit came in an actual tote bag, which you'll likely see in some of my upcoming Bali videos. Really, just an all-around well-stocked and smart set of amenities. As for the in-flight entertainment, there are a few movies on offer, but nothing spectacular, but it'll get the job done. However, in a stroke of genius on my part, patting myself on the back, certain iPads will very, very conveniently just dangle like so if your cover folds over. I had a few clips on today's flight which I thought were recording video but apparently weren't. Either way, it's still some beautiful terrain. That brings us to a really, really great breakfast service, starting off with pretzels and a cup of coffee. Here's the full menu for our flight. I went with the vegetable frittata, again, fully on board Team Frittata, which was served with chicken sausage, braised beans, and creamed spinach. Alongside it was a coconut and raspberry muffin and a few slices of really decent sourdough bread. I applaud airlines that manage to serve fresh, sliced bread. It's such a nice departure from those monotonous rolls and garlic bread which everyone pretends is delicious but is actually stale as hell. Next up is the 10-second toilet tour. There were no frills, but it was certainly kept very clean and tidy throughout. I would have absolutely loved this clip crossing the northern coast to not be a time-lapse, but oh well, live and learn. Beautiful skies gave way to lots of clouds as we began lining up while crossing over Lombok. After that, it was a straight shot into Denpasar's runway 27, catching a glimpse of the beautiful cliffs of Pendita Island on the final approach. Enjoy the landing. A brief taxi had us parking next to familiar company, and that is that. This was a thoroughly pleasant flight which exceeded every expectation I could have possibly had. It's so refreshing to have such a great low-cost experience, especially considering this fare was lower than Qantas Economy for the same route at the same time. So, I really do hope that you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please be sure to click that thumbs up button and subscribe with notifications on, so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming content. In the coming weeks, we have content coming from Bali, Garuda Indonesia, Cathay Pacific, and Taipei. But first, I'll see you next time at the Hotel Indigo, Seminyak, Bali. Oh, and thanks for watching to the end.